when you affirm, you realize and you acknowledge that everything in the world is connected. You are connected to everything in the world. You are connected to all the money in the world, whether it's in your bank account or not. And I know that might be hard to believe, but let me tell you, when I started believing that, the money started coming into my bank account. But when I affirm now, I say things like, I'm experiencing abundance in every area of my life, because abundance is not just money in the bank. Abundance of friendship, abundance of connection, abundance of time, and abundance of money. And so when we start to develop a healthy relationship with everything we want in our life, that's when it starts to manifest in our life. Today, we are talking about how to manifest the life you want. And now, look, I am no manifestation expert per se, but I can say that I have manifested those things on my vision board. I have brought to fruition all of the things that I've really wanted in life. And it's not a perfect life. My life is definitely not everything that I wanted. Sometimes have gotten what I wanted. Sometimes I've gotten what I've needed, but I've noticed when I practice these 5 steps, the things come to pass. And when I align my life in this way, it just happens. So let's get into it. So first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is setting your intention. And the reason intention is important is because if you don't believe something is really possible for you, it's going to be hard for it to actually manifest. It's going to be hard for you to align with that reality if you don't believe it. I was born in Humboldt, Tennessee, small town girl. All my, belongings came from the helping hand. I grew up on powdered milk and we did not have much. It was 6 of us living in a trailer and it was not a double wide. So growing up, I just knew how to survive. I just knew that what we needed, we would have what we needed. We prayed every day, but I thought like, this is just the way it is. I lived very humbly, and my mother and father taught me to really value every single thing I had, every piece of food, every piece of clothing. And to this day, no matter how much I have in my life, I am always grateful. Number one, for my life, for my breath. And that is most important. Everything else after that is just icing on the cake. But my life and my health and being around friends and family, like that is number one of value to me. So when it comes to things outside of that, I realized that based on my intentions and the things that I want, like for instance, I never thought in the beginning that I'd be able to travel the world, but I knew when I was a little girl and we went on our first family trip, I was like, oh, I love seeing new places outside of my hometown. I love seeing rivers and water. And I got obsessed with nature. My mom used to teach me how to sing to the trees and to connect with nature and to ground as a little girl. And so as I traveled, I saw different aspects of nature and it always made me happy and excited. And it was very stimulating for me. So I knew I wanted to travel and see different things as a little girl, but I didn't know how that was going to be possible. I think my first realization of the possibility was when I started running track and field and we start going different places on the meets. And so by running, we would go and do a track meet here and a track meet there. Now, most of our focus was on running, getting in the van, eating, and then going back home. But the little time we'd have around different people or in a different place with different restaurants would excite me. So I realized at a young age that I love travel. I love meeting new people, understanding different cultures and ways of being was something that was stimulated at a young age for me. So as I grew older and I traveled more, I wanted to see more. The more I traveled, the more I wanted to see. The more I experienced different cultures and religions, the more I wanted to see. So I knew that I was feeding a fire inside of myself that was in alignment with what makes me come alive, with what brings me joy. And so I would say the first thing that I realized is setting intentions. And I set intentions in every area of my life. The first most important one are the pillars of lifestyle design, which is spirituality. So when it comes to spirituality, no matter what I'm doing, the most important thing is that I'm connected spiritually, that I'm connected with my divinity. And so praying every day, praying before meals, praying before I travel, like that's important to me because there's a lot going on in the world. And no matter what's going on, I want to make sure that I'm in alignment and I'm, living in my purpose, that I'm not just like, having, just going through life, but I'm intentional. So whether I'm on a plane or whether I'm in a restaurant or whatever I'm doing, I want to make sure that I'm exuding love, that I'm exuding kindness. And to me, that's living in alignment with my spirituality, living in alignment with God and what I believe is just showing up as a light. And even when I'm not feeling my best, I choose to either stay home or if I go out, I'm choosing to just move simply, not trying to force myself to be anything that I'm not, but being very intentional on how I can still show up in love. And when I can't, when I'm exhausted or when I'm cranky or when I'm just not feeling my best, I usually that's time for me to go within. And so now that I have this intention, no matter what I do, no matter where I travel, I'm going to bring that energy. It's about where do I want to go? And in this last year, I set an intention to travel to different places and try out different vegan restaurants because that's what I love. You might love something different, but I love trying out vegan restaurants all over the world and sharing it with my community because now that there are more and more vegan restaurants, more and more good food, I want people to know what's good and what's like meh, blah because I want people to have a good plant based experience. And of course, the more people that go plant based, the better for our planet. So that's something that I'm really passionate about. I'm also really passionate about wellness. So when I travel, I love to explore different wellness resorts, different wellness hotels, different wellness facilities that do things like cryotherapy and floating and massage and acupuncture and just you name it. If it has like an element of well-being tech included in it, like I want to geek out on it. I'm all about it. It brings me joy. And I know that there's so many natural ways for us to be well through herbs and exercise and breath work and meditation and yoga. But there are also some fun ways and some tech things that we can try that help and assist us in our well-being. And I like exploring those as well. And so, with this intention that is totally unique to me, I've built out my life. And so, for me, I'm living the life that I desire. And the reason I'm sharing this because I know I'm very different. I'm very unique. And so, I want to encourage you to try out different things. Growing up in the South, I was very weird. Like the way that I thought, and like people from where I grew up are not doing the same things I'm doing, most of them. And so, it can be very hard when the way you think, maybe you want to sing or maybe you want to skateboard, or maybe you want to do something that's different than anybody else around you. But the goal is to, once you feel it, once you know it, find other people, other groups, whether it be on like Facebook group or Instagram or TikTok, find other people who have that passion so you don't feel alone because chances are you're not alone. Maybe not people in your city or in your hometown think in the way that you do, but there are other people in the world that do. And it's really cool when you find people that are in your tribe, so to speak, that think and have those same ideas and intentions as you. So once you set your intentions of whether it's you want to travel, you want to experience good food, you want to build community. That's another element of what I love to do. I love to build community worldwide. So whether I'm in LA or Atlanta or DC, I'm also having meetups and events. I remember meetup.com when that came out, I was like, yes, I would have volleyball meetups and potlucks and just bringing people together to talk and to share stories and to connect because I truly think through storytelling is how we heal and how we see each other and how we connect. I love social media, but sometimes in social media, everyone's not a storyteller on social. Some people are more in person. And so in person is a beautiful way for people to tell story as well as online. And so I love, just meeting people from different communities all over the world. And so once you have your things and once you find people, you set your intentions, the next step is to visualize. Now, I learned this through my spiritual father, Michael Bernard Beckwith. And we used to do this life visioning process where we would just close our eyes, we'd breathe, we meditate, and we start to visualize. So for instance, for what I like, I would just see myself traveling to different places. I would see myself being in different communities. I'd see myself going to these restaurants and I would just breathe and I would see, and then I would just allow. So sometimes divine downloads would come through about who I would need to go see or speak to or meet and different things like that. But it was so fascinating how just me visualizing and holding space for the small desire in my heart expanded in so many ways bigger than I could ever imagine. For instance, my desire to try more food, especially when it comes to plant based vegan food, it branched into me being, a vegan restaurant connoisseur. So going to different restaurants and people looking forward to what I feel like is the top items on the menu. So it wasn't my initial vision to be a vegan restaurant connoisseur. It just happened because I was doing what I love. And so with life visioning, you don't have to know what the end is. All you have to do is hold space for whatever brings you joy in your heart. And sometimes if you're like, girl, I don't have anything, you could just sit there in stillness and just see what comes up. And that's a part of meditation that I really love when I learned when I went to Agape. It's called Transcendental Meditation, where you just sit and you just think about love. You feel love in every cell of your body. You listen to your breath and then see what comes through. And so after you've set your intentions, after you visualize your reality, visualize what it is that you desire. Maybe you desire meeting people and you visualize yourself. Like I could visualize myself meeting Oprah and Michelle Obama and like all of these incredible people that I love. And I could just sit there and just see it happen and see me making dinner and maybe serving them dinner, us having dinner together and hugging them. And that's literally how I visualize anything that I want in life. I just see it in real time. And I feel it in every cell of my body. And I've learned over time doing that. And next thing you know, a name will pop in your head. Maybe I'm on social media. I'm divinely guided to a page and I DM someone and then I'm in a meeting. I remember when I got a specific job, I was thinking about, oh, you know what? I want to cook. I want to start making food for people. And I was in the beach in Florida and I got this call from one of my celebrity clients and they wouldn't tell me who it was at the time, but they were like, we need you to fly to LA and have a meeting with this client who wants to work with you. I'm like, who is it? I'm like, I'm on vacation, but I was so intrigued that I actually did it. And it came out to be Stevie Wonder. And I was like, oh my goodness, he is my favorite singer of all time. He's such a legend. And, to have that opportunity to work with him was beyond never, ever visualize that, never thought of it, but just holding that space in my heart to want to make food for people. And I started to do dinner parties for just my local community. It manifested into this amazing opportunity to prepare food and help with the well-being of one of my favorite, most legendary singers in the world. So I say that to say, like, you don't have to know exactly like what it's going to look like in the end. If you just hold your joy and you start where you are, it will eventually manifest in whatever it's meant to be for you. Okay. And now the next step, I know you've heard it a million times, but gratitude. And I hope I break it away. I know you've heard it a million times, but I hope I break it down in a way that really lets you know why it's so important. So when I talk about gratitude, there's so many times in life that we get caught up on what's not happening the way we want it to happen, right? And when you think more about what is not happening than you are about what you want to happen, it lowers your vibration, which doesn't align you with what you actually want. But when you express gratitude, you raise your vibration. So if most of the day you're thinking, I'm so grateful. For me, example, I was so grateful that I can cook for my community. I'm so grateful I'm having these dinner parties. I'm so grateful I'm connecting people. I'm so grateful I have food to eat. I'm so grateful that I could do work that's uplifting humanity. So every day I'm thinking about what I'm grateful for. So that is going to be more powerful and it's going to raise my vibration to align with things that are in alignment with high vibration, with love, with compassion. But if I'm thinking, man, I didn't get this job I wanted. I didn't get to cook for that person. Man, no one wants to hire me. I don't know if people really even like my food. That is a lower vibration. So if it's okay if you found yourself there, I've been there before, but every time I see my mind spiraling downward in that vibration, I'm like, no, stop, pause. And I think about what am I grateful for? What have I been blessed with every single day? Even in relationship, in my relationship, I'll be like, oh, I wish we did this and this. And once I see myself, I wish, or feeling like, man, I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful I have a healthy relationship. I'm grateful we're doing this. I'm grateful. I check myself. So you really want to check yourself. And when you see yourself spiraling down, when you feel yourself sad, and this is not spiritually bypassing, it's acknowledging like, hey, I might feel sad. I might feel not okay with where I am. I might feel tired, but I am grateful for, and focusing on those things you have gratitude for while you're addressing any reason you might be sad or any reason you feel like things are not working. Maybe you build out a new strategy. Maybe you go out about things in a different way. But the simple act of writing down what you're grateful for, saying what you're grateful for, thinking about what you're grateful for, when you find yourself not feeling good in a low vibration or spiraling downward, will help you manifest a high vibration and will help you manifest the life that you want. So don't forget about that, especially if you're feeling like you're in a funk, you're in a gray area, things are just not happening. Practice gratitude. And one thing, my spiritual father, Michael Beckel, would say, go and serve somebody, because when you serve somebody, you're going to feel good. And that good feeling is going to resonate in your body and help things start to move in a different way. Sometimes we're so focused on ourselves and what we want that we forget, like, we're here to love and be loved. And the more that you create that energy, that cyclical energy in the universe, the more you're going to be in alignment with everything that you want in life. All right, so let's talk about the next step after your intention, after you visualize, after you've practiced gratitude. The next step is to affirm. And I know I've seen some things going around on social media, like sometimes it doesn't feel honest if you're affirming things that aren't there yet. But I would have to say, when you affirm, you realize and you acknowledge that everything in the world is connected. You are connected to everything in the world. You are connected to all the money in the world, whether it's in your bank account or not. And I know that might be hard to believe, but let me tell you, when I started believing that, the money started coming into my bank account. And I can relate, because when I first heard it, I was like, man, that's not real. I'm looking at my bank account a lot and I'm saying, I got money. I'm healthy, wealthy, and wise. And it's just not happening. But when I affirm now, I say things like, I'm experiencing abundance in every area of my life, because abundance is not just money in the bank. Abundance of friendship, abundance of connection, abundance of time, and abundance of money. And so once we start to develop a healthy relationship with everything we want in our life, that's when it starts to manifest in our life. But if our thoughts are more separated from what we want, or thinking we don't really deserve it, or we're not worthy of it, or we can't have it, there's no way we can align with it. But when our thoughts are like, you know what? Yes, I want this and I can have it. And it's only a matter of time before it manifests. And I am grateful for the job that I have now. I'm grateful for the relationship that I have now. I'm grateful for the relationship with myself. I was single for a long time and given up on love for a long time. And I was like, I'm grateful for this spaciousness I have to work on myself. That's what I had to say every day. I'm grateful for this spaciousness that I have to work on myself. I'm grateful for the healthy relationships I get to be around, that I get to see, that I get to witness, I had to detox my mind from all these negative blogs that are bashing men and women. I had to detox my mind from all of that stuff and focus on gratitude for myself, gratitude for healthy examples of relationships, gratitude for all of these things I was visualizing. And that really helped me manifest it into my life. When I was broke, when I didn't have a dime, I had to say, you know what? As long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I was singing that song over and over and realizing, I remember when I couldn't pay my rent and I went to Costco and I bought a massage table and I started doing a massage. So I was like, I know I'm good at massage. And I started out charging $50 a massage, and then $100 a massage, and then $150. And like the most expensive massage I charged was like $315, because I kept focusing on it, working on it, manifesting more clients, and then knowing that my worth and my value, the oils that I use, the ambiance, the candles that I said, everything, I would just take it to the next level. And I just increased my value over time. But it took me believing in myself and me really believing like, you know what, and affirming, I can do this. I can be, and I wasn't even a massage therapist. So I can't claim that I was doing massages. I called it my rent table. I was doing massages to pay rent. I'm sure that's not legal, but it's over. I don't do it anymore. But that's what I did at the time to make ends meet. And then I would make food. I love to make food. So I was like, you know what? I'm good at making food. So I'm going to make this food, this vegan food. It's delicious. I love food. I know how to put the spices together, energies together. And I was putting them in these, I think, 1 cup containers and just selling them and had people coming over my home for, I want to say about 3 years. And it got so popular that I actually got my food into the farmer's market and the local Rainbow Acres in LA and was having like 5-course dinner parties while I was inviting people from the industry out. It manifested in something bigger than I ever imagined just because I said yes. Just because I said, I'm going to do what brings me joy and what I love. And I'm going to affirm that I'm going to have enough money to pay my rent every month. And I did. Not only did I have enough money to pay my rent, I ended up moving to a 2-bedroom apartment. Then I kept saying, you know what? I am living with an ocean view. And it was the same complex within, I want to say, the 14 years I lived there. I went from like a studio was what I was looking at. I started doing the rent table. Then I got a 1-bedroom. I ended up getting a 1-bedroom. Then I got a 2-bedroom. And then eventually I was on the ocean side with an ocean view because I kept that vision. I made a vision board. I wrote it on my vision list. And then it manifests. And every single day I affirmed, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm being, and this is what I'm going to have. And I really believed in it, every cell of my body. Now, everything hasn't manifested exactly as I saw, but a lot of things are very similar to what I've envisioned or something better. And now I say this or something better. And I'm telling you, it's worked for me. And so the last step is take action. So everything that I've shared before, I've had to take action on. A lot of people like, I wrote it down and it's just not happening. But I took those baby steps. Like I didn't plan to be a celebrity chef or want to be a celebrity chef. I just love to cook and love to feed people food. So I cook for myself. I cook for my friends. Then I started cooking for my community. Then I started having dinner parties and the word spread and it grew. You know, when I started massaging, I didn't have a desire to become a massage therapist, but I started massaging people. I started to learn and research and see what I could do to perfect my craft. And I got really good at it. Now, that's not what I wanted to do for my life, but at the time, I'm just sharing how you can take it with anything in life. When you take action on whatever it is you want to manifest, whatever you can do right now that's moving you into the direction of what you want. In this instance, it was just like, I want to use my gifts and talents and do something that I love to bring my income. I didn't really know what I was going to stick with, but I was just trying things out. So if you were like I was in my 20s, I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. All I know is I want to love people and help people. And these are the things that I like. So I just tried everything that brought me joy. And I was able to make enough income to take care of myself. When you take action on anything you desire, you set your energetic gravitational pull into motion so that life that you want to live, that life of abundance, that life of happiness, it starts to get closer and closer to you because you're taking the steps to align you with it versus thinking, I don't deserve it. I can't have it. I'm an imposter. This is not who I truly am. Those thoughts are not going to get you what you want, right? Or being around people that are telling you, why do you want that? That's not who you are, that are talking you away from your dreams and goals. That's the furthest thing from what you need. You need people that are gassing you up and that are telling you, you can do that. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't quit. And those things are going to help you continue to manifest your dreams. So again, I am no expert on manifestation, but I know that practicing these steps have helped me manifest everything I've desired in my life. And I hope that they help you as well. If you've gotten any takeaways from this episode, please share them with me on social media, leave a review, and just let me know your biggest takeaways. Let me know what you love. Let me know some things you've done in your life to manifest what you've wanted, because this is a community conversation. I truly believe in community. Having conversation is the way that we grow and we thrive together. So I'm so excited to be your host. Until next time, love yourself, love others, and love the world. One day at a time, one breath at a time. Peace and love.